Welcome to the Chicago Bears Podcast, a presentation of ESPN Chicago, Chicago's home for sports. Here's your host, Pat, the designer.
Because Arlington Heights could be on hold based on some tax issues. Big shock there, right? Like, listen, even the Chicago Bears aren't there for the taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's I don't feel bad about feeling bad about my taxes ever again. When the Bears are like, bro, I'm not here for the taxes. All right, that's all you need to know. I guess here's the thing. What is your real hope for the stadium outcome? As somebody who played there, who's been a part of the history there, who's been a part of everything that's going on at Soldier Field, is there a part of you that's like, maybe Chicago can get this thing worked out? Or are you on the side of, hey, listen, it's been long enough. Y'all go ahead and move on from there.
Listen, wherever the best deal is where, because listen, it's about business.
Yeah.
Listen, it's about business.
Yeah.
And as a player who has been cheered, has been booed when I said I wanted to leave. Yeah. And when I said I wanted to leave, everybody said, well, boo, then leave, then get out of here then, and not knowing behind closed doors, what was said to me behind closed doors was basically, hey, we don't want you after this year. And so I'm like, all right, well, if you don't want me, then trade me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're behind closed doors, we're going at it. And it's one of those things where I had to be there and sit down and say, I need you to tell me you don't want me here.
Yeah.
And so now I have to go out and when I say what I say, all the outside world sees is me say I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
All right. But they don't know that I was in there trying to fight to stay here.
Yeah.
And so, but that's the business of it. Luckily I was able to stay here, but the business side, the business side is, at any time that they could have cut me. If they didn't think that I was the guy, they could have cut me. They could have traded me away, got picks and whatever that is. And I'm like, okay, bye. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
And so when players leave, fans, they have such an emotional tie to their team that it's like you betrayed us and you left us, but it's a business. And
it's a business.
So it's a business. And who knows? Maybe they do go back to Soldier. They can rebuild within the stadium, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But there's options, and which bodes well for the organization. There's options, and they open the door. And you listen, Chicago like I know Chicago. I mean, somebody want to fatten their pockets. Everybody wants to fatten their pockets. And so and who's going to give them the best deal? If they go to Arlington Heights, they say, man, listen, we're going to raise your taxes, all right? Because I want to pat my pockets, all right? Then, hey, listen, come to Naperville and our taxes won't be as high, okay? You know what I mean?
We need less. We need a little less.
Yeah, I'm thinking long term here, okay? So,
we need a little bit less on this side. We don't need as much. We need money.
As much.
We don't need as much money.
As much. You know what I mean? So it's who's going to give the best deal.
Yeah.
That's favorable to the organization, and you have plenty of cities, plenty of options, and they'll find it. It might also be a ploy to help Arlington Heights. Hey, listen, you got to have to take your head out of your butts a little bit, man. Now we got to open the door. Now we have to do this to force your hand, to do this or that. But who knows? Yeah. I just know that in Chicago, everybody wants to get paid now.
And I think here's the thing for me, right? Like at the end of the day, we were talking about this beforehand. The Bears are going to play somewhere. I don't care where the Bears play. Personally, for me, as a fan, I enjoy football more on the TV because I can see everything. Football stadiums alone. If I'm sitting at one end of the end zone and something goes down on the other end of the end zone, I'm just reacting to whatever the people down there are doing. I don't have no idea what's going on.
Maybe they get back to Decatur and become the Staleys again.
Oh, God, no. Hold on now. Wait a minute. Let's not go away. Let's not go. Hold up. Here's the thing. Do you change the name back if you go, or do you keep it Bears?
If we're back, I feel like
the Decatur Staley podcast don't ring the same. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's different. It's different. It's such a comical bear. It's a comical bear, you know?
That's a tough one right there. I love the point you brought up, though, about like your situation dealing with Soldier Field and dealing with the fans at the stadium and stuff like that. How do you then, right, because eventually you do end up leaving and you're no longer a Bear, blah, blah, blah. How do you then internalize and keep a positive mindset, because you still are very much a Bears fan? You still do have love for the city of Chicago, even though you went through that point where they don't know what's going on the other side, but you're getting all the boos, you're getting all the jeers, you're getting all of the hate that came from that situation.
Well, in today's climate, you get everybody's first emotional response because of social media.
Yeah.
You know, and so what I have learned and what I try to tell the you know, so a lot of the youth and youngsters that are coming up, that you don't listen and don't read everybody's first emotional response, because their first emotional response is usually one that it's raw, and it's the first thing that they think of, and the first thing that they think of that they can put their fingers down and respond is usually an F you, go to hell, we don't want you, this and that. Man, after 24 hours or 48 hours of getting the real information, you're like, oh man, I kind of understand now, you know, a little bit, you know, I kind of, you know, and so it's you never read into that stuff. Never read into that stuff, and just know that people are emotional. You know, you have emotional moments. And it happens. A lot of times we say things that we don't necessarily mean, or we say things that we don't necessarily understand before we understand them. A lot of times people respond to, they listen to respond instead of listen to understand. And so, and that's the case for a lot of Americans. And once they understand, you know, it starts to change the tune, or they'll find a different angle to serve their statement. Yeah,
it's so interesting when you talk about like today's climate and stuff like that. When you think about how I think about a lot of the situations. I always think about Deion's situation, leaving Jackson State and going to Colorado. And right when you find out all the details and everything that went into that, you're like, oh wait, like he was helping, like he was actually like the good guy in this situation. But the initial response was just right, like, how could you leave? How could you take blah blah, whatever you want to take from it.
He never faltered. He never faltered. He just stayed exactly who he was all the time. Yeah. And so with that being said, like I haven't changed. There's nothing in me that has changed. So, you know, whatever is being said, all the noise that's happening, I've stayed steady. Yeah. I've stayed steady. And so everything else changing, you know what I mean? You know, I use this term for football a lot. I learned it from Rod Marinelli. Hey, the weather changes, we don't. You know, and so while everything else is going on, we stay steady in doing what we do to create our success.
Do you think a lot of players today end up kind of changing up who they are based on the situation? Like when they get that hate, you see a lot of like it's either I think about like Julius Randle with the Knicks, right? He started playing poorly. He was playing poorly. Yeah. They booed him, and his reaction was basically to say "F you" to Knicks fans.
Right.
Versus I want to play better.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been my worst critic. Yeah. You know, I've always been my worst critic. So I'm a sore loser. So when we lose as a team, I tune out. I don't want to watch other teams' highlights. You know, so I'm not listening to a lot of what's going on the outside. You know, I mean, I want to get back to practice. I want to see how I can make these corrections, and I want to start making these corrections right now. Yeah. You know, I want to get on the field and play somebody else right now so I can feel better about myself, better about in our situations.
That's that Miami Heat mentality, right? When they lost that game 6, they was like, we want to play this game right now.
Right now, right.